Hey guys, we get the question all the time, which is your favorite active lifestyle neighborhood here in the Summerville and all of Charleston market?
Yeah.
And I don't know that we can ever honestly, truthfully answer that. We have our favorites, but picking one, because they all have little differences here and there.
Yeah, there's good about all of them. I don't really think there's any bad about any of them.
Yeah, it's just
There's
different
just-
levels of good.
Yeah, just different levels of good, a little bit here, a little bit there.
Yeah.
So today we're going to talk about the top 6 active adult style, is that right?
Active adult lifestyle.
Lifestyle, there we go.
55 plus.
55 plus communities all over Somerville. They're all in Somerville. Sneak peek at the end, though. We're gonna talk about 2.
2 more coming. And this is a great time to bring something up because we always say 55 plus, but we actually had a client just recently scold us lovingly, saying, "Hey Jeff, Mark, we wish we would have known that you don't actually have to be 55 to live in these neighborhoods."
Yeah, they sat around for like 6 months before we finally said it in one of the videos.
I feel really bad.
That there's a certain percentage in each of these neighborhoods.
Yeah.
And one of them, you can be any age pretty much.
Yeah, that's true.
Because it's not restricted. It's just targeted.
Yeah.
But you can be 50 to 55 for about, 20% of most neighborhoods.
Typically it's 20%. And now the caveat to all of that is that you cannot have any kids in the neighborhood unless they're 19 years old. In those 5 that we're going to talk about, the 6th one is an outlier. Why don't we start with that one?
Yeah. So Summerwind Crossing in the back of Cane Bay Plantation. It's part of the lakes at Cane Bay, so you have access to the big 350-acre lake that's out there. But it is a targeted 55 plus. And Jeff, what does targeted mean?
So it's really built with the 55 plus person in mind, with the layout of the house and with the amenities, but you are allowed to have kids in that neighborhood. So we have yet to see anybody under the age of about 21 in there. We actually have one client that their college kid is living with them in between going to school. So we haven't seen any kids in that neighborhood yet, but it could be. I just think the way the houses are laid out, that it's probably not going to be many, if any.
I agree. But they've got some great amenities. They're not going to have the big, oh my God, amenity center or anything like that. But they will have a really nice pool. There'll be an event lawn there. You've got 2 pickleball courts. You've got 2 dog parks. And what am I missing?
Well, they cut the grass there, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so all your lawn maintenance is included, and it's going to be all of these neighborhoods we're going to talk about range from the $250 to $350 a month for their maintenance and HOA fees. This one is at the lower end of that, but they are cutting the grass, so that's cool.
One thing I would say is a good about this neighborhood is if you don't want to be in a huge community, this is only going to have 205 homes in it. Now, it's not gated.
Right.
So that might be a negative for some people. But only 205 homes.
Yeah.
That's kind of my style, I think.
Yeah. And we were actually in this neighborhood yesterday, and we were talking to one of our clients that gave me cookies, by the way. Thank you, Lisa.
Yeah.
I did not share.
You did not share.
I did not share. I did share. I shared the 3 of them with my father today. I stopped over to see my parents in Delwood.
You like them?
Yeah.
I'll give mine up for you.
They were gone immediately. Yeah.
Paul deserves.
He housed them. Yeah. Great. Now, listen, this isn't realtors talking here. This is just Jeff and Mark telling you what our clients have told us. But they are really liking all the people that are around them in that neighborhood. They've been very happy with all the people they've met. So I think it's a great neighborhood. They've got some fantastic pricing, some great spec homes. You can still build from the ground up in that neighborhood. And
the homes are a little different, too. Right?
They're a little different. And so a couple of them also have phenomenal back porches.
Oh, yeah.
And you can put a fireplace on the back porch.
Fireplace on the back porch.
Yeah.
Now, if you get a spec, not all of them will have that.
Right.
Like there's one spec that we just videoed yesterday that has a awesome L-shaped outdoor.
Yeah.
But no fireplace.
No fireplace. They do that.
Outdoor.
Yeah.
And but we know a guy, right?
We know a guy. We got you covered. So that's the first one. And again, as with most of these, I'm going to call out on each one when they are a good golf cart neighborhood. And this is a good golf cart neighborhood. You can get to all of the Chick-fil-A, Starbucks, grocery stores, all that by golf cart on really nice trails.
And if it gets approved by the county, there may be even more retail coming. 50,000 square feet more
Mm-hmm.
of retail along the lake and everything.
And back closer to Summerwind.
Yeah,
So
very nice.
it's a contender.
Yeah, for sure. Where do you want to go next?
Next one, let's just work our way across the.
Across the
Yeah, so
town.
Del Webb, the OG, the Snoop Dogg of 55 pluses,
Last but not least, I want to thank me.
is in Cane Bay also.
Talk
And
about that for a second. How did Snoop Dogg become the grandfather of America? By the way,
well, can you imagine 20 years ago when Snoop was out and thinking that he was going to be America's granddad here at some
no,
point?
I don't think so. I would have ever thought that.
No, but
But he's a cool guy.
everybody gets older in age and simmers down a little bit.
Yes.
So Del Webb, the original, there's no more new construction. They've got a fantastic amenity center, indoor-outdoor pool. They just redid that pool a while back.
They redid the whole amenity center.
Yeah.
I think they put $3 million into it, if I remember correctly, and it's beautiful. It's gorgeous.
Yeah.
You got the gym inside there.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you're a reader, they've even got a little library in there.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, right up by the front desk.
We'll get to that one, too. But there's a library in another one that I don't know you've ever seen.
Cresswinds?
Del Webb Nexton.
Oh yeah. It's off to the right.
Yeah. All right. Well, back to the original Del Webb. So all the homes in there are probably the youngest homes are about 7 years old. The oldest homes about 17 years old because that was the original here in the Summerville market. But great golf cart ability. It's even closer to all of the restaurants and shops than Summerwind is.
I'm really shocked at how well they keep up that neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
Being 17 years old.
Yeah.
It's one of the most pristine neighborhoods.
Yes.
And I would argue it has the best entrance
Gorgeous.
out of all of the 55 blocks.
Yeah, all the trees are mature. They've been there. They've had time to grow. We have multiple clients in there. There's lots of ponds around that property. Very well established amenities, well established clubs, things to do. And it's now this is one of the higher monthly HOAs of all of them in the area.
Yes.
This one is closer to that 325 to 350 mark for the monthly fees.
Part of that though is you get your cable included in that.
Yeah, that's hard to keep track of. This one does garbage and this one does cable, and so they're all over the board. But yeah, if you take that out, it's right in line with everybody else.
It's right in line. And then so some of the other differences in this neighborhood is you can't have a fence.
Ooh, yeah,
And you can't do a swimming pool.
right.
So if those two things are a must for you because you got a little pup or you have to have a swimming pool in your yard,
Yeah,
then this one will be pulled out of
But-
contention for you.
no need for the swimming pool in your yard because it's lovely
Oh,
and
it's
it's
gorgeous. Indoor, outdoor.
yeah, great clubs over there. Good people that we've seen. Our clients that are in there have really enjoyed that, and again, right in the middle of Cane Bay, so great access by golf cart to everywhere you want to go.
Yep, for sure. And then so we missed one, right?
Yeah, I guess we actually skipped 4 Seasons.
Four Seasons, probably one of the top two, I would say.
Uh-huh.
We're kind of on the fence between Webb At Nexton and the Four Seasons by Kay Hovninian. And
Good for you making a run at that.
I tried.
Sometimes I have to drop the K-Hov just so I make sure I'm not going to stumble over it.
But definitely one of our favorite. We've sold a lot of homes in there, both resale or pre-owned and new construction and specs. So they still have all of those right now. You can't build from the ground up at the moment.
Right.
But starting in like June, July, we should see the new packages come out for phases 9 and 10. So we probably only have 2 to 3 more years of build time.
Probably.
In 4 Seasons. The good thing about this neighborhood is I liked that they finished out the whole front of the neighborhood first.
Mm-hmm.
And now everything's going to the back of the neighborhood.
Yeah.
So you won't have construction around you once these phase 8 is complete.
And there's been some really good deals to be had in that neighborhood. As all these builders get specs done, if they're not under contract, they start dropping the prices. Sometimes they've even done lower mortgage rates. But the other nice thing about this one, and also I probably should have mentioned this with the OG Del Webb, was that some of these resales are absolutely gorgeous. And in this neighborhood, they're not any more than about 7 years old at the oldest.
That's right.
And they put a lot of stuff in them. So The big brick pavers in the back with the kitchens outside and the blinds and the.
How about that one with the underground gas lines to the tiki torches?
Yeah. Yeah.
That was awesome.
And then I saw one in there, I think it was in there, where they had automatic blinds. You push a button and the blinds would go up and down. It was really cool. So we talk a lot about new construction, but there's some great homes in here that are not that old, in this neighborhood especially, that are really good. And the values of those, while there's new construction in these neighborhoods, the resales have to kind of stay in line with the pricing, and the pricing on the new stuff has been pretty aggressive. So I think it's artificially kind of held down sometimes, the prices of these neighborhoods, until that construction finishes.
Yeah, I agree. What would you say is one of the things that sticks out about Four Seasons? Like, what is one of the reasons you would want to move there?
So I'm very interested in moving into a 55 plus when I'm able to. I'm 53 now, and I could because of that 50-year-old thing, but I got two shorties at home that are 15, so I can wait for the girls to be 19, or I can kick them out of the house. But one of the things I really like about that is the lake. It's a navigable water, so you can go fishing, kayaking, canoeing. They have a boathouse. You don't even have to own your own kayak or canoe. You could borrow one from them.
Yep.
I love all of the activities out that they have around that lake. So the concerts they do outside, some people in the neighborhood just get together and jam, and, this one brings a bass, this one brings a guitar. They do the thing. I know they get together on Friday nights and cook pizza. There's a brick oven up there. But honestly, you might be surprised. One of the biggest things for me is that billiard room.
The billiard.
Yeah, because I like to shoot pool. I'm not very good.
Right.
But I would really like that.
Yeah. I would say that, and the amount of preserved land, the trees and the woods is definitely one thing that sticks out to me and a lot of our clients. They just like how natural that it looks. And I don't know about the other ones, but I know this one, like people that are big into tennis are big about clay tennis courts.
Oh, yeah.
This one has clay tennis courts, and then I like that you can just go grab a boat.
I think it's the only one that has clay in the tennis courts. Yeah, I think it is.
Okay. So I think that's cool, and then you can just grab a kayak as part of your HOA. You don't have to go purchase a boat.
Yep.
To go out on the lake. It's really nice.
And I just love the golf cart ability again.
Yeah.
Easy run out to everything. The Jesus chicken. Actually, they mentioned Chick-fil-A in church the other day, and he called it the Christian chicken. I thought that I might pick up on calling it Jesus. That might be my new thing there. So that's a great neighborhood. Really well established, and our people love it.
I gotta say, I live a mile and a half from the Four Seasons entrance, right? Mm-hmm. And so Jeff was nice enough to leave his golf cart at my house for a couple days because we were doing video over there.
Yeah.
And I got to take the wife out on Saturday morning on the golf cart.
Yeah.
And it was early. There was nobody on the golf cart trails. We drove all the way down across Highway 176 over to the McDonald's. And we had, breakfast. And we were the only ones in the restaurant.
That's great.
Because it was early. And we felt like truly old people going in there first thing. Nobody else is there.
That's when the old farts roll into McDonald's is first thing. And McDonald's has some of the best breakfast sandwiches.
Oh, they're so good. The biscuit was so moist.
Yeah.
And then we left there and we went across that street over and got our hot coffee for the golf cart ride home.
Dunkin' Donuts?
Over to Dunkin' Donuts. Yeah. And it was just a lovely morning. Like,
I threw a bit of a big baby fit in that Dunkin' Donuts one time.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah, they didn't have apple fritters.
Oh.
And I was really looking for an apple fritter that day.
Well, at least you know they're making them fresh, right?
Yeah, if they were out.
Yeah, it's not like they pulled it out of the freezer. But I just thought that was a good experience of what a lifestyle that would be over in Del Webb and Four Seasons and Summerwind.
I don't know how you live in that neighborhood, be retired, and not have a golf cart.
Right.
I mean, it's just kind of, you have to...
We have had some clients, though, they're like, I just don't get it. Just get in your car.
Yeah.
What's the big deal?
Well, they're insane. They're lunatics. They're absolute lunatics. So that's it for Cane Bay.
Yep.
We'll roll over into Nexton now.
Yep.
And one of my favorites, one of the two that I will probably be considering moving into, and that's the newer Del Webb in Nexton.
So before you start, what is the big thing that sticks out in that neighborhood for you that would make you want to move there? Like, What's the differentiator?
Yeah, a couple things. So number one is I feel like even I will probably be working in real estate, and we will most likely be in this office in Nexton when that happens. And so being able to go to work by golf cart would be really cool.
You would like that.
Yeah. And then they're going to be doing a bar grill setup over there next year over by the pool.
Pretty much the only one that'll have bar and grill.
That's right. The only one in all of Charleston, really.
Yeah.
So that would be a plus for me. And then just in general, the location. It's no better golf cart ability than Cane Bay, I would say. It's equal, but to be able to get to the office, and you've got more restaurants for sure that you can get to by
Absolutely, 100%.
But you've got
and more coming.
2 grocery stores compared to the one over in Cane Bay right now.
Yep, good point.
So those are my favorite things.
Yeah, I like their style of houses. I like the entrance. One thing we didn't call out about Four Seasons is it has guards 24/7 at the front gate, where Del Webb is like 7 to 7 or something like that, and then you have card access to get in, or you can buzz somebody in remotely if they call your house. But I like the front entrance. I like the way it's laid out.
Yeah, and that guard shuts down at about 9 o'clock.
It's 9. Okay.
Yeah, so but I think it's 9. But you still have the pass in your car, of course, to get in.
Right. And then I would call out it has the number 1 pool in the entire area.
It is the nicest. Yeah, huge resort style pool, 0 entry with loungers in the water and little cabana type things around, and there's hot tub over there, and that'll be right beside where they're putting the bar and grill in. So it's going to be real easy to go get a drink and lay by the pool.
Yeah.
And more stuff coming.
More, with the pickleball courts and the gymnasium.
Yeah.
And, all of that. And they probably have, how much loan do you think? 3 years, 4 years?
I would think so. I was actually in there today doing a home inspection for one of our clients, and you haven't even seen it yet. I took some video, and they're opening up some more phases, and it really goes back deep into the neighborhood there. And so they've got the ability there to build from the ground up. They've really upped their game in the last 18 months on the number of specs that they have coming at any given time. So we've seen more and more specs in there. And then also, in their oldest house is probably 6 years old, 7 years old, just like over in Four Seasons. And people have put a lot of nice stuff in there. My parents live in that neighborhood. I stopped by today and saw Mom and Dad and gave them your chocolate chip cookies. But I'm a big fan. And I would say that if somebody were to say, Jeff, Mark, what's the neighborhood that has the best centralized location that you can easily get to the most stuff? It's hands down. It's Del Webb and Nexton there.
Yeah, and not even the most stuff. The closest to Interstate 26.
Yeah,
to be able to get even more stuff down in Charleston.
Yep.
Or go on trips and get to 95 and all of that.
Yeah.
100% agree with that.
And they've had a lot more restaurants open up around Nexton. We've got some really nicer, higher end restaurants in Nexton, some mid range restaurants. We've had some new bagel places open, some new Italian places open. So there's a lot to get to really close to that neighborhood.
All by golf.
All by golf cart, yeah.
All right, so now we will leave Nexton and head towards the Dorchester County side of Summerville. And I would say the first one is Cresswinds, if we're going in order, right?
Yeah, they're finishing up new construction there. I think we'll be done in there in the next 12 months probably.
Or less, yeah.
Or less even.
Yeah.
The amenity center is lovely. It's not quite what Del Webb, Nexton, and Four Seasons is, but it's also a much smaller community. So no indoor pool there, only an outdoor pool. Very active pickleball and bocce leagues over there. We've been in there at times when there's, 40 golf carts lined up and people hanging out playing bocce and watching people do, which
bocce was insane how many people were there.
It's a big deal.
Yeah.
And they do nice concerts and events there. All of these ones so far that we've talked about, and actually everything we're talking about today, have really great activities and activity directors there on staff to plan the events.
Yeah, except for Summerwind.
Yes, you're right. I'm glad you said that.
Yeah, except for...
Could have got me in trouble.
That's okay. It's only 200 ohms. So you're not expecting to have the same amount of things that the bigger home, the bigger development.
Always the good, always the bad with everything we tell you. I would say that my biggest negative to this neighborhood is golf cartability. And you really can't get to any real shops, restaurants by golf cart.
Sure.
You can go take a nice ride around the neighborhood and also out into the rest of the ponds. There's non-55 plus out there. One of the good things about that one is that as part of your HOA, you have access to the amenities that is in the ponds, not just the ones in Cresswinds. So they have another, if you have the grandkids staying with you, you've got another whole pool and an amazing treehouse playground type thing. Dog parks, there's a YMCA, there's a fire station over there, and a bunch of lakes and beautiful trails through the woods around the lakes. It's a nice neighborhood.
So the big thing that caught my mother-in-law, because my mother-in-law lives in there, was the drive-in. Once you're driving through the ponds, there's 100-year-old oak trees that are just kind of hovering over the road. It's just a gorgeous drive-in.
It is.
For sure. All around that treehouse playground, there's more oak trees. The dog park right there, you'll see more. And then the floor plans there are very specific, I would say. They're not the average open floor plan where everything's the same.
They're a little different.
So you got to have a little bit more of an open mind with the floor plans there. But there are a couple that are
more wide open. I always tell people that haven't seen it yet, it feels in some of them a little bit more compartmentalized. There's some of them that have the kitchen and a dining area, like a breakfast nook at the very front of the house, which isn't what we normally see. We normally see that at the back of the house. But we've taken clients in there, and I actually had one in there 3 weeks ago, and they really liked these models over what Del Webb, Four Seasons, and somebody else has.
Yeah. And they have a really nice amenity center. It's a little bit smaller. I think it's 12,000 square feet for the amenity center. Still has a fitness club. You do not have an indoor pool there. So if that's important to you, that would, obviously rule that one out. It is the only neighborhood that if you put a fence up, they will mow inside your back fence.
Oh, yeah, good point.
So if that's important to you to have a fence and still mow inside, this is the only neighborhood that will do that. And then the conservancy in this, for the most part, is good, although the new community that they're building out there has taken a lot of trees down around the lakes and ponds. So that's a little bit of a negative there. But
still some really nice walking trails back through the woods and around the water. And they do special events over there outside of Cresswind also in the non-55 section.
And we're going to save this for the end, but I've got a third bonus
to
talk about in this neighborhood.
Okay.
We'll talk about it.
All right.
The end.
I'm excited to see what this is.
Yeah.
All right, so last of the ones we're bringing up the top 6, right? Over into Horizons in Summer's Corner. We have probably sold more houses in that neighborhood than any other realtors in the market. I would think
so.
There's a good chance. And if somebody were to call and say, Jeff, what's the best value? What's the best bang for your buck?
This is it.
This is one of them for sure. It's going to be big. There's going to be 15, 1,600 homes, I think, when it's done.
Yep.
And I think the amenity center, which is under construction right now, is going to be phenomenal. They're going to have a bar there. Not really a lot in the way of food from what we understand, but they will have a bar.
Yep.
And so that'll make it one of only 2 that have access to alcohol.
That's right.
And so indoor-outdoor pool, community spaces.
And supposedly this outdoor pool is going to be different than any one we've seen.
Really?
So we'll see if it rivals what the drawings look like. But like palm trees like right on the edge of the pool.
Oh, nice.
Just really resort Jamaica-like.
Yeah.
Type.
And Lennar wants to knock this one out of the park because they want to get more into this space around the country, and this is kind of going to be their flagship location.
For sure.
So they want to do it right. Some of the downsides of this neighborhood are it's a little farther out of town.
It is.
You could still be at grocery stores in a dozen minutes or so, and you're back into Summerville in 20 minutes.
Yep.
But it's not really
It's not a golf cart.
It's not a golf cart neighborhood
That's
for the
for
most
some
part.
stuff, yeah.
It's you're probably going to be getting in your car to really go anywhere in this neighborhood.
Now, we've been saying this for 12 years, but supposedly the latest article in the neighborhood
Yeah.
says that there's going to be a Publix. So once
So
that
we've heard.
opens up, if that news article is true, then you will have a golf cartable store there.
You will, but actually, this is kind of interesting because I was looking at this the other day,
It's
and
kind of illegal, though, right?
well, yeah.
Yeah.
So you might be able to just go out to the main road and scoot down the grass
Sidewalk.
for a ways, but there's going to be a back entrance coming,
Yes.
and so it might be a pretty
Long ride.
long ride, but a nice
15.
ride that you go out the back and you can get there legally by golf cart. We have to see how that works out yet.
Yeah. Never take golf cart advice from us at all. That's our.
Yeah. We did do a video once with Joe from Joe's Carts. That's our
Listen to him.
yeah. Listen to Joe. He knows what he's talking about, not us. We'll get you lined up with Joe.
But yeah, I mean, I like the layout. I'm excited to see this amenity center.
I am too. We've been waiting for it for years now.
I think it's going to be beautiful right on the lake there. I like the walking trail
Yeah.
around the lake. So lots to like in addition to the price. And I would say because this is one of their flagships, the quality of the home build right now is probably pretty up there as well compared to what you might have heard online.
We've actually had really great inspections on a lot of the homes that we've done over there. So we really encourage our people to do home inspections. And, they've gone to more of a model where they don't want to close on the house unless everything is done.
Yeah.
And we've had good results lately from them as far as the finished quality of the house.
Yeah. Before we get to the bonuses, can we jump in and talk a little bit about, what's the process like for buying a spec home or to be build
Yeah.
from far away, right?
Yeah. So that's a lot of what our people are.
Yeah, and they're worried about it. They feel like they have to be here.
Yeah.
But I would say you don't have to be here because of how our team helps in videos and things like that. Do you agree?
Yeah. I mean, it was what I spent my morning doing today.
There you go.
I was over at Webb At Nexton today doing a meeting, a building inspector for Linda, and pre-drywall.
Yeah.
And so, met with the building inspector, went around, reviewed everything. And now that inspection is being sent to the builder this evening as soon as we get it. And I've got another meeting with the builder tomorrow, and I'll video that whole process. I took video for her today.
Good.
And I'll send that video to her. And so we are always at every meeting. We're at every drywall inspection, every inspection, every builder meeting. In addition to that, we're not even just at the meetings, but we go out to the houses on a regular basis and get you video of the process. So much so that I've been actually thrown out of a neighborhood before to be there too much. But
We won't tell you.
yeah, well, I'm not gonna tell you which one. Book a meeting with us. I'll tell you in private. So we go out and get, and I would want that if I'm in Boston and I'm buying a house and it's down here in South Carolina. I would love to see the process. So
Right.
we're very involved in all of that.
And really, there's only about maybe 3 times they would have to come here, right? To visit.
Yep.
A lot of people will come down and check out the area first.
Yeah.
And then they come a second time and really dive into one particular neighborhood. We find the lot, we find the model, or we find the spec home. And then really it's quiet until
We
10
do
people
everything, and each of these builders is a little different. If you do something from the ground up, so let's say you were building in Webb and Nexton, you're going to want to come to town for the design center meeting because you're going to be in a room and be able to feel and touch everything.
Good point.
Pick all the colors and the cabinets and the flooring and the lighting and all that, and we're there, of course, at that with you. But then most of the builders want you there. It kind of stinks because if you're coming for close, you're there the day it closes, but we want you there about 10 days before for that last final meeting after the final inspection to meet with the builder and go through what they're going to fix in the next week.
Yeah, and it's funny because sometimes it really just depends on the person. We will find more things than they will.
Yeah.
As the client who's going to be living in the home.
Yeah.
But a lot of times our clients have very, particular things
Yeah.
that they want to call out. And we might not have known that because we're not inside their head or anything.
Yep. It's not a bad idea to have, 3 sets of eyes
Right.
work in that room that day. And a lot of the paint work is touched up after that point. So Mark and I are really good at getting in, and everybody on our team is, at getting in there and really kind of picking it apart, because we want you in this thing move-in ready on the closing day.
Yeah.
And we don't want you to have a whole punch list of things that has to be done over the next year, that first year that you're in the house, even though you have that warranty that kind of is bumper to bumper.
Right. Well, let's get to our bonus things. So what are the, I'll say the third one. I'll let you talk about the first.
All right, so the first one is there's a new great neighborhood coming. It's not here in Summerville, but it's down closer to Mount Pleasant in Charleston. It's the new Del Webb in Point Hope. And so there's going to be some differences with that. You can watch some videos we've done on that, but we expect things to be getting ramped up here this year in 2025. And it's going to be a gorgeous neighborhood. We think, pretty confident there's going to be a considerably higher price point than the Del Webb and Nexton, just because of the location. But if you want to be in this lifestyle and be a little closer to the beach on a regular basis, this is going to be a great option for you.
Or maybe your family lives in Mount Pleasant or West.
Yeah,
Beach.
absolutely.
Daniels Island. This would be a good location for you, for sure. And we probably won't expect to see a home built until 2026.
Yeah, first closing, not probably till the first part of 26.
But towards the end of this year, we should start seeing.
And if that is of interest to you, book a Zoom call with us now. And Mark's going to tell you at the end of the video how to do that, because we're starting to create a list of people so we can reach back when it's time to get more serious about that neighborhood.
Yep.
The other one is another Horizons coming, and this is going to be in Carnes Crossroads, where I personally live right now. And so this is going to be a little bit smaller of a Horizons than the one that we have over in Summers Corner, about 600, 700 homes. And the amenity center is not going to be all that the one in Summers Corner is, but you are going to have access to the amenity center at Carnes Crossroads, which is under construction right now. As we're filming this, about to open in about 2 months. And it's got a big resort-style pool. There's multiple pools in the neighborhood. It's actually going to have a farm. So there's going to be like a whole agri-hood, they call it. But I've seen, they literally were plowing the field the other day when I saw them. So they got the tractor already. I got to find out if I'm going to be able to drive that tractor.
If you get the opportunity to drive the tractor, you have to wear a hat and overalls.
I will have overalls, a hat, and nothing else on.
Oh my goodness.
I'm not overalls. I'm raw dogging it otherwise.
Please don't picture that.
Don't picture that. But it's going to be a great neighborhood, and it's a great location. We really like Carnes. There's a good golf cart ability there. There are a bunch of restaurants and a grocery store under construction now. There's restaurants already open. There's probably 5 restaurants open that you could walk over to or a golf cart to. Probably more than that even now. And more coming. There's a Starbucks. A Publix is being built. There's a church in the neighborhood.
Freddy's custard.
Freddy's, yeah. The butter pecan custard over there. Not wrong. All right, what's the third? What's the mystery?
So the mystery is did you know in Cresswinds, when they finish that neighborhood, they're not going to be selling the models right away? You know why?
I don't know why.
So the neighborhood that's going to be next to Cresswinds is not going to be part of Cresswinds.
Okay.
So you won't have access to their amenities and all of that. It'll actually be part of the ponds. You'll have access to those amenities. But it will be a targeted 55 plus, and they'll be using the same models that Cresswinds has. So the models will be the models for the new targeted 55.
You are more in the know than me, because I heard there were some townhouses coming.
Supposedly those got shot down or delayed or something like that. But that targeted 55 is going to be nice.
That's interesting. I wonder. It would kind of stink, though, not having access. I mean, you still have a great pool over there in the ponds. I'll be interested to see how that works out.
Yeah, the pool, the farmhouse, the fields, the dog parks, the playground. You still have all of that stuff.
Yeah.
So if you want one level living, and I'm assuming the HOA would be a little less since you don't have all that.
It'd have to be
the big
stuff,
right?
So that's it. That's the rundown of all of our favorites. There's even more than that, actually, and I wouldn't even say they're not our favorites. They're just a little bit of different animal. There's one that's kind of a townhouse vibe, more of a lock it and leave it, summer home kind of a thing.
Yeah.
But people are living there too, and a lot of amenities. So we can talk about that. But if you want to talk about the best option for you, learn more about the area, schedule a time to come in. If we could be sending you listings, even if you're going to retire in a year and you want to start, going down this road with us. Book a Zoom call, and that's how we start the process. And we love it when people come to town and we get to spend some time with you. But the first step is a Zoom call. And Mark, how's that happen?
Yeah, so down in the description, you're going to click on a link that says book a Zoom call here. It'll drop right into our calendars. You can pick the best time for you. We'll jump on that Zoom call, and either me or Jeff or both of us will be on with one of our team members. We'll talk about what is the lifestyle that you really want to live, what is the important amenities that you want to have, or maybe you don't need a whole lot of amenities, but you really want that golf cartability lifestyle. We'll figure out which is the best neighborhood for you for the budget that you want to pay, and then we'll kind of go from there and get you in town so we can take you to those areas.
Like and subscribe. Check us out on Tuesday night, 7 o'clock. We'll see you in the next one.
Till next time. Bye-bye.